Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky, and I am a living Christ. Today I should like to speak about hello, heaven, goodbye, hell. Several days ago, I produced a video titled Welcome to the Second Coming of Christ Consciousness. Now the question is, where do we go from here? I'm going to tell you. And again, I ask that you pay attention to what I say, because it is absolutely the truth that has been withheld from you for your entire lifetime. I broke the ice the other day. I fractured the illusions that hold you, living men and women, and has made you slaves of your intellect. You're satanically ruled, hypnotically indoctrinated intellect. The satanic instrument that has created hell on earth for you. That's all you know. You don't call it that, you see. But you live in the land of illusion. This world that we live in, this thing that we call civilized life, is that illusion. It's based in words. It's based in ideas, beliefs, all of which are concepts. They're dead words based in the satanically ruled intellect, put there by the years and years and years of training at a very young age, in your formative years, when you went to school. And teachers, unknowing of what they were doing, were passing on the illusions that were passed on to them in their lifetime, in their formative years. Now, that has been going on since the beginning of time. We have lived in a world that we accept as being normal. Is it? Or is it an illusory world based in the living dead? Now, what I am saying to you cannot be debated. It cannot be argued with. What I mean by that is the essence, the energy that is the words that I must use in order to communicate with you while you are trapped as slaves by your intellectual mind. Well, you say to me, well, you're in the same spot. I'm in your world. But as you well know by the feelings that arise within you, then I am not of your world. In it, but not of it. Where has it been said before? Has it not been said of Jesus of Nazareth? For he, too, was a living, breathing, flesh and blood man, trapped in a world of the living dead. But he did not succumb to it, nor have I in this fictional lifetime that I am now living in. I am alive, and I am speaking to the living dead. Now, what do I mean by that, the living dead? You see, well, it's either alive or they're dead. Jesus has been known to raise the dead. And you hear that literally. You believe in that literally. And you make that into a miracle. Not such a miracle. When you raise someone from the illusion of their minds based in a non-living fictional world, that world is based in the past, in the memory of the intellect. That is a dead world. You are living in a dead world because you are living in the memory of the past. That makes you past tense. You're dead. Oh, you feel alive. But those sensations that you feel are based in ideas. They're based in concepts. And all of these things that you feel that go on in your intellect somehow are confusing to you because they're dualistic, they're split, they're divided, and they're in opposition to each other. And it's not until you understand, you come to a point of wholeness, when you bring the two opposites together as one. That is when you enter into your subconscious mind, which is the mind of non-duality. That's the mind of truth. How many of you live in that mind? Well, it's going on all the time, whether or not you're aware of it. And the key to it is awareness. What is awareness? Cognizance. A feeling of understanding, of holistic, of holiness, of divine understanding, of oneness, of creativeness. That's godly. You've been taught about God, but you see, you've been taught about Him. You have not learned of Him. The words of and above say it all, does it not? They're different dimensions. When you speak of something, you are at one with that something. When you speak about something, you are divided. There is the you, and there is that which you are looking at. Duality. That's hell. That's your state of consciousness. All of you can't deny that. But you certainly cannot speak of that, can you? Oh, on some occasions you can. And when that occurs, you are in the state of non-duality. You are in the state of oneness. You are in the state of truth, of love. That's what true love is. But the subject about love is sensation, pleasure, pain, suffering, good feelings. Togetherness is fleeting. It's an idea, so it doesn't last. As a matter of fact, nothing lasts in your life, does it? Because you don't live in the moment of now, which is the only moment that truth can be experienced. You live in the after moment. That after moment, by its very definition, is dead. You see? So when I speak of the living dead, hear me well. Because I'm telling you the truth. All birth certificated, newborn, are converted from living beings into fragmented persons through birth certification. No question about that. You're no longer a living man or child, infant, you are now a person, a dead, conceptual person, a non-living entity of words, based on words. And that follows you throughout life. And so when someone asks you, who are you? What's the word that you use that comes to your understanding, that comes to your attention? I'm a person. That's what you say. What you're admitting to is that you are a non-living entity based on a word that you accept to be the truth about yourself, and you willfully admit to being a dead entity, a corporation, as defined by your fictional government. Yes, I'm telling you the truth again. Fictional government, that's another thought of yours. These are all illusions. But you worship them as your gods. You, the living, or the living dead, I should say, because you're more dead than alive. When you worship concepts and ideas as being superior to you, we call them laws, man's law. They're illusions. They have no authority over you. They have no jurisdiction over you, because you're the living and they are dead. The judges that administer them, they gave up their living status to be dead instruments of the system. Police are dead instruments of the system. Oh, yes, at the same time, they are alive deep within, but they are not cognizant of that, you see. They have been led to believe that they must obey the law or be punished. So they fall in line and they doubt themselves. They give up their living status as men and women, the creators of their life, the creators of their destiny, and they accept the mantle of slaves, dead slaves, mechanical beings that operate based on stimulus and response, reward and punishment, mechanically. That's what mind control is all about. That's what schools are all about. The schools that you have attended do not tell you how to think, they tell you what to think. And they judge you based on your ability to respond to the stimuli fed into them. And if you dutifully obey them, you're judged accordingly. And you rise in the ranks of the living dead. Lawyers are the living dead. They are the servants of hell. Judges are the living dead. They too administer the dead law of man's law while forgetting, omitting God's law, the living law of truth, the living law of do no harm and tell no lies. You see, if you do no harm and tell no lies, you're living non-dualistically. You're living at one. You're living in love. You will not harm another because there's no one to harm. You're living in a realm of consciousness that is non-dualistic. There is nothing to oppose it. There is nothing to argue about. You understand that you are the creator of all that exists in your world because you have created it, but you lapse into the amnesic state of duality, and you create the watcher and the watched, the creator and the slave. But guess what? It's only you. There's only one. There is no other. unless you believe in illusions. And that's where conditioning comes in. The media comes in, the schools come in, government comes in, religion comes in, banks, corporations. These are all satanic organizations. See, religions operate with the velvet glove of mind control. And therefore it, fundamentally, is satanic. Oh, you don't see it at that, and you will be angry. You will be upset when this is said to you, because you realize it is true, and the truth will upset you greatly, and you will resist it with all your might, so that you can feel peace again. But what you're feeling is the peace of escape, the peace of non-responsibility, the peace of being a child where they are cared by, a separate entity that they regard as their savior. At the early age, it's the mother and father. It gives them protection, it gives them security. But they must venture off into the world, and that comes in the way of schools. And the teacher becomes the savior. And the flawed human being, based in their own satanic conditioning, becomes their leader. And you have those children who become the movers and shakers, who become the leaders of our adult world. They're the popular kids in school who abide by the rules and put forth behavior patterns that are approved of by the leadership, by the teachers, by those who control their behavior. And they create their own society, and they expect that you belong to their society. But at the same time, they create duality. So they form cliques. And cliques are limited. See, a clique may be regarded as an organization of thought that you adhere to. And anybody who has a different standard to follow is of a different clique, of a different nation, of a different country, of a different belief system, religious or philosophical. You see, all these things are satanic. That's how pervasive Satanism is in your life, and you're not even aware of it. You don't question it. To you, Satan is a story told to you. And of course you don't get that, because that's something that you can accept or reject. You see, a story. Well, what is history? His story. You understand? It's an illusion. And you either accept it or you don't. That's duality. You're in hell. Absolutely, you're in hell. And the pain, the suffering, the confusion never stops. One problem after the other. That's what life is for you. That's satanic. That's a satanic life. You're in it. You are it. You are a Satanist. You are angry when a man of truth, such as I, tells you so. You defend yourself. You say, no, that's not me you're talking about. How dare you? You, there's something wrong with you. You are crazy. You don't fit into my world. To that I admit freely. I am not of your world. Now, what are you going to do about it? Not a damn thing. I'm going to stay the way I am and get out of. I don't want to hear from you. Go away. You can't lose me, because I, in fact, are you. Non-dualistically, you and I are one. I am as much a part of you as you believe yourself to be, but cannot allow, because you live in a dualistic, illusory world. When in fact, you live in a non-dualistic world, but you choose, willingly choose, you consent to live in a world of duality. So you go about your life and you create. You can't help but create. You're the living. The fundamentals of your life, your life force, creates wealth. That wealth must be converted into money. Understand? Symbolic words, ideas, concepts, money. It's an illusion. But you cannot live without that illusion. It buys you things. It supports you. It pays your bills. So you don't have to pay bills, other than the fact that you choose to live in a life of duality, a life of hell. I, this living Christ, tell you it's not important to live at one with your own creations and not be separated in your own mind into duality and contradiction. You see, contradiction is what is known as sin. Sin is nothing more than a contradiction in essence. Essence. Your life force is contradicted, and therefore you're confused. You live in constant pain and uncertainty. That to you is life, and you live that way until you die. Another example of duality. There is no birth and death in reality, in actuality, in truth, for you are eternal. But you are made to believe that you are material, that you will die someday. And when you do, you will either go to heaven or hell, another dualistic projection going on in your intellect, which is living in eternity. So, heaven or hell? I'm telling you here and now that heaven is here. And if you choose to live in your dualistic mind, separating that, you're living in hell. Hell doesn't begin when you die, although there are illusions that are trained into you to put you into a frame of fear, an intellectual frame of fear. And to escape that fear, you must lie, you must deceive, you must cheat, you must kill. Because you're arguing all the time. You enter marriage in order to come to that oneness, when two become as one in understanding. That's what love is. How many of you find that in life? And how many of you wind up in the divorce courts operated by satanic judges and lawyers who benefit, who strip away your life force and make you poorer, make you more dependent upon a system, believing that that system will see you through. And all it does is just extricate your life force from you. That's the wealth transfer that creates poverty and richness, wealth. It creates the schisms, the classes of the have-nots and the haves. The haves being those who have an office of importance in hell, but they're still in hell, though they don't know it, because they enjoy the pleasure of having power over the poor And the poor have very, very few moments of pleasure. Most of it is just the transference of their wealth, given away freely and voluntarily through contract. If you have to contract with another, you are transferring power. Or if you contract privately, you see, there's only, and it's 1 minute. You provide a service or an understanding in return for money, you see. But if you do that in the normal, conscious way, you invite a third party into the contract. There's you, there's the other whom you contract with, and then there's government or religion. And they seem to have the priority of importance in relationships. So you're split in a three-way contract. And the third-party government, the satanic government, with its courts, dictate what is justice. Your contract was with another duality. And in comes government who says, no, as long as you're engaged in commerce, which is the word that they use for all three-party hell interactions, government is the authority. And they have power over you through your own consent. Same with any contract, with any organization called a corporation. You enter into commerce. Is there another way? Privately contract. Contract only if you have to, because you're living in a dualistic world. You don't have to invite a third party into the arrangement. And therefore, it is between you, your goodwill, and the one that you are contracting with. That's how you change the quality of your life. That's how you create a heaven out of a hell. You simply move from dualism, hell, into non-dualism, heaven, truth, divine, godliness. And you are that God. And you are merely agreeing with yourself. That's private contract. That is the world of heaven on earth. That is what this living Christ, the simple man of truth, has been bringing to you for 24 years. How it has been resisted by you. Look at how it has been attacked by the system, the satanic system of power-oriented men who control the means of communication on and off the internet. I invite you to visit my website and watch. Look at the videos that I have produced. Read the written articles that I have written, and you will see how this living Christ has maintained his integrity while dealing in the depths of hell with the degraded consciousness of intellectual, hell-bent individuals who are strong on destroying others. advancing in office, their air-conditioned offices, while they live in a burning hell. That's it. It can't be more graphic or simpler than that. So, I would suggest that you listen, you watch the video of Welcome to the Second Coming of Christ. Do you understand? Because that tells you who you are. And it gives you the opportunity to create the world in truth. Your world. And stop believing in dead concepts defined by people in power. They have no control, they have no jurisdiction, they have no power over you except for you to believe it and to consent to it. When you do that, you sell your soul and you become the living dead. Hell, they even have TV programs called The Walking Dead. What do you think those zombies are? Those zombies are depictions of the average man and woman as seen through eyeglasses of truth. Filters off all of the illusions and exposes the souls of men and women who are civilized. They're zombies. They're dead, living dead. I'm here to bring you life. I'm here to bring you to non-dualistic truth. To bring you to your subconscious mind, where heaven, where truth, where oneness, where love, where God exists. Join me, if you dare. But it won't be easy, because you cannot bring your garbage baggage with you. That has to be dropped. You come to the point, the boundaries of your intellect. You let go. And let God. That's true meditation. Because beyond those boundaries is the infinite, which appears to be the vast void. But in that void contains everything, including all of the ideas that you hold in your conscious mind, which is limited. That's your 3% to 5% that you're using. And the 97% of the subconscious mind goes unused. But that's your true heritage. That's who you truly are. That is your heaven on earth. Thank you for your attention.